Welcome, guys, to another edition of the Ghost Clover Podcast live from SHOT Show 2025. We are here at the Bersa booth. Real quick before we get started, a quick shout out to our partners with this, Bersa and Walk the Talk America. We will be going live every day at 4 o'clock local, which is like 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, today and tomorrow. So be checking out. We got some great guests today. Before we get going, my cohort, my partner crime, the brains behind the operation, Chris from CloverTac. My name is Trey Ghost Tech. What's up, homie?
What's your name again?
I don't know. Ron Jeremy, Elvis Pepperbush. We'll go with Elvis Pepperbush today.
I'm Titus.
You're Titus. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I was in porn, so yes. We get going.
Day two.
It is day two. It is day two of SHOT Show 2025. It's Wednesday, for the record, January 22nd, 2025. We're fortunate to have some great friends of ours, both professionally and personally. We have Ron Holmes from Riker USA and Jake Discretion from Walk the Talk America. What's going on, guys?
Elvis Pepperbush.
Elvis Pepperbush, yes.
Elvis Pepperbush Titus sounds like a condition that you need antibiotics for.
There is a pill for that, I'm told.
That's tetanus. Come on, man.
Don't step on a rusty.
That was a fantastic pull for a fake name.
That was. And AKA Ricky Savage right here. What's up, brother? Ron Holmes from Riker USA. We're going to go into his background. 20-year MARSOC Marine. Been there, done it all. Founder of Riker USA. Now working also with a partnership with Mitchell Defense. I want you guys go into that. Tell your story real quick about the Riker USA story, a little bit, whatever, and then let's talk about Mitchell Defense as well.
Yeah, so I retired from Marine Special Operations 2010, you guys that don't know. And prior to that, I had multiple surgeries, leaving me with rubber bands in both shoulders, screws and fishing line in each elbow, and I got an inch of height loss. When I went into government service after retirement, all the shooting we were doing, I found that the support arm would painfully go numb on me. And, I say my superpower is that I'm left-handed. Growing up in the special operations arena in the 90s, we didn't have this, right? Until those towers fell, there was no tactical industry. And pretty much how you got gear back then was from a catalog or you made it. And the stuff that we were issued came set up, a lot of it same side specific for a right-handed shooter. So being left-handed, I'm super innovative and creative. I always had to undo, redo, and make my own stuff. That's kind of what led to it. I had a me problem. I wanted to shoot pain-free. Now, we started out one product. We got 14 now.
Yeah.
We've got our flagship product. We've got our sling. We redesigned our sling with the Tier 1 Special Operations units, and they now run our sling. So that, and then along the way, through this industry, at the NRA show, Mitchell Defense and I were right across from each other. We start talking, and then, he's recon foreman. And then shortly after that, it was that was May, June. I was putting on a big 3-day training event and content-driven event. He came down, sponsored it, attended, and we had 15 people attend. 7 people bought rifles that day. And that was pretty much, and he was just yeah, hey, man, whatever it is, I'm in. Anything you're doing it, I'm in. And so now we've pretty much from that moment, we've been joined at the hip, and now we're we've merged our brands. And it's really awesome because I'll shoot any gun, but these guns are awesome. Yeah. And and the cool thing about Nathan is that he's from oil industry, oil field background beyond his reconnaissance foreman stuff. Right. But he brings a lot of the technology and things he learned in the oil field. He brought him into developing rifles,
right?
And he brought a lot of that technology with the tolerances and understanding strength and metal.
Smart guy.
Yeah. So and it's just really worked out really well. So what we've done now is, and we're going to be doing it a lot more this year, but we do the Mitchell Riker, combination courses. So what we're doing with this is when we're going to put it out there, we're going to blast it. We've already done a couple. We're going to do the Mitchell Defense Riker USA carbine course. We're going to do the transition course. But the thing that we're doing a little bit different is when you sign up for this course, you can bring your own rifle, and that's fine. But the whole concept is we want you to come out and use our stuff.
Absolutely.
So you're going to get to, when you sign up, you get to sign up for the Rat Dog, which is the 9mm line, or the Doc, which is the 5.56 line. And we'll have the guns will be set up, they'll be ZO'd, and they'll have all the Riker accessories on them. So not only you get to run missile defense rifle, but you get the rifles, but you get to run and learn the Riker method of shooting.
And that's something I want to bring into, because you've created this thing out of personal necessity, but it's turned into a thing. And you guys know from my channel, you guys are probably very familiar with this product. This sling, his grips are fantastic. But kind of going real quick on the instructional side, what is the Riker method?
So essentially, the Riker method is using the Riker grip and the Riker sling and understanding the concept. You know, we biomechanically sort out what we've all been doing incorrect for hundreds of years, and that's shooting a shoulder fire rifle. You know, so instead of reaching across your body, thumb over, you know, wedge, everything, so I'm reaching across, just by putting your hand out to the side, you open up that shoulder, but you're no longer holding the weight of the gun up, isolating individual muscle group. You're using large muscle groups, your back and your shoulders. This is what eliminates recoil. This is what eliminates fatigue. Now, I like to say this. Do you shake hands like this? Do you shake hands like this? You shake hands like this. Now, I'm holding my rifle this way. Take that rifle away. Now, I'm in the same exact position as when I fire a pistol.
Yeah.
So I have commonality of movement, rifle, pistol, shotgun. It doesn't matter. I'm doing one less thing by doing the same thing across the board.
Yeah.
Right. So that in conjunction with our sling. Our sling is a retention.
Real quick, because I think most people, the average person, sees a sling as a way to hold it on their body so they don't have to hold on to it. They don't quite understand how to utilize a sling for stabilization, for everything else. So the average person doesn't know that the sling is part of the rifle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So the Riker sling is a retention system, and all this is designed is to improve lethality for our warfighters, but even for the home defense and more. You know, we can actually validate with the 96 round course of fire, speed, accuracy, and stability are all improved. Now, the Riker sling is designed to be run again, growing up on the MP5 behind the pistol grip and behind the Riker grip, so you have a nice narrow base. When you have it tight to your body, it sits at a nice angle, a bisecting angle with the barrel at your hip. So when you bend down, the muzzle automatically goes out to the side. So in the capacity for law enforcement, the muzzle's not going into the back of somebody's head. The cops aren't getting called onto the carpet. They use excessive force, intimidation with a weapon, this kind of thing, right? Also, more importantly, your muzzle's not going into the dirt and the buttstock into your face. So it goes out to the side naturally. Now, your traditional nylon sling, when you're sitting there, you want to come up on an engagement, you pop it off, you come on up. If you want to transition to pistol, you got to get this thing behind you, but it's hanging behind you like an anchor, right? Not with ours. You put it on, you set it nice and tight so you have good and automatic weapons retention. Because of the elastic in the body of the sling, you pop out and you push out, and then you let it come back and sit. Now the sling will be taut, not super tight, but taut. And what it does is it creates a artificial stabilization platform.
It almost
for you.
welds it for you.
Well, yeah. And now the rifle is pulling back into your shoulder, and it's pushing in with the Riker grip. It's pushing into the meaty portion of your palm, which takes even more stress off of your firing hand. Now you have an even better dry stop. But where we've really noticed a good benefit for the Riker method with the sling, shooting distances. Like it really just locks you in just to really get you a nice tighter group on that. And then when you want to transition, you just drop it and come back up, and the rifle stays tight. And now you're with your secondary.
And it sounds something as simple as this, but keeping it tight in that workspace, sometimes you need to drop that weapon to pick up somebody, and that, you know, we're open, whatever you got to be able to use your hands and not have to worry about the rifle banging around everywhere. Now it's in your workspace, it's tight, and all it is from there is just real simple, get back up. So that's the idea is phenomenal. I've got 2 or 3 of the slings are amazing. Yeah, they really are. We've
had a lot of tactical games athletes. They run this thing. The thing that they like about it the best is they can tighten it, throw it on their back, carry that sandbag, crawl the obstacles, run up to the shooting platform, pull it right back around, boom, 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 do the engagement, drop the sling, and move on.
Absolutely.
We've been a sponsor at a couple of the games, and I've seen a dude carrying like that 150-pound sandbag, dragging an easy $5,000 rifle because his sling broke. And he was so taxed. He was like, I'm not dropping. If I drop this bag, I'm not picking it back up. And the dude was dragging his rifle because his sling broke. Yep. Right. Yeah. So it's our slings come. They're everything. They're manufacturers, a veteran-owned manufacturer, and they come with QD mounts, and they're super light, and they're just like they add value to
Absolutely.
to law enforcement, to military, but just to anybody that has. Now here's the other thing with the Riker system, the Riker method. Our grips and our slings work on, the grips go on anything you can side mount to.
Yeah.
Shotgun scars, AKs, ARs, PCCs. Heavier the gun, higher the caliber, full auto suppress. You recognize the benefit instantly.
Yeah. We're going to come back here in a minute, let you tell where they can find you and all that. Clove, let's get Jake in here.
Jake, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
What's happening?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
You almost received a Purple Heart, I understand. You got a little injury. Yeah, little injury.
Yeah.
I was
And
opening a pack of
what
stickers.
is up this year at SHOT with people cutting their fingers
I
off?
don't know. I was
Yeah.
opening a pack of these stickers, and then I
thing.
couldn't close my own knife. which is
That sounds
embarrassing.
like the weakest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm just saying. Good thing you're a great therapist.
Yeah, as far as you know.
Right. Right. So, tell everybody that, may not be aware, obviously a little bit, quickly where you came from, but more importantly, what's going on now? What's new?
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Nevada. I do live up north in Reno, Sparks, actually. I don't really claim Las Vegas, even though I'm fifth generation Nevadan. You'd think I'd claim the whole state, but I'm very northern centric. But I own and operate a company called Zephyr Wellness. We do outpatient counseling and about 20 employees. And I got into Walk the Talk America because as a concealed carrying firearm owning practitioner, I met Mike and realized there was work to be done in this space, because I realized that I was subject to a lot of the condescension that came from the clinical community regarding firearms, and then by extension firearms owners. And so it's like, well, I don't really care what my peer colleagues think of me. I care more about the people I'm treating. And if we're missing a large swath of America because they are afraid to come into counseling because they don't want their rights taken away for whatever reason. I don't have a bat phone to .gov. That's not how this works. But they didn't come in, and then things get worse, and then we end up with firearm suicides or divorces or kids being bullied that don't have to be. And I want to welcome them in. So we try to demystify what counseling is for firearms owners. We try to train practitioners on how to be more culturally sensitive to the gun community.
Right. Now this year at SHOT with you guys, with the Walk to Talk America, man, you really kind of beefed up the troops, so to speak, and it's kind of a divide and conquer. You got no booth, no tied down, not tied down to one location,
Yes.
but able to move freely, and hopefully you've gotten more stuff done because of it.
Yeah, it's the second year we've gone without a booth, and it's actually been to our advantage because we can be more nimble. And we've got DB Palmer, who's one of our advisory board members. He's a clinician in Oregon. We got Eddie Davenport, who actually represents Pedersoli, and he's our competition coordinator now. He's a social worker in North Carolina. Big firearms guys and good clinicians. So we're trying to make as many contacts as possible just to bring the word out to everybody that we do exist, and we're trying to make this mission broader and more accessible, trying to build out our 2A friendly provider directory, for example. But the big thing that we really want people to participate in, y'all as gun owners, I really invite you to go to our website and take the survey. We have a gun owner survey where we're trying to collect data on the attitudes of firearms owners about what they think regarding mental health broadly. So it is not necessarily anonymous. You do have to enter an email address to take the survey, so we don't have replicated survey results. But the data we're trying to collect are running in the opposite direction of what we usually see from researchers in the quote-unquote gun violence prevention realm, that basically say, the only way to stop gun deaths is to provide restrictions either through policy or legislation, or by bad advice like keeping your ammo separate from your firearm at all times, or just don't have them in the home if you have kids, that kind of stuff. So we want to get accurate information on what people believe. And our hypothesis is people are staying away from care, not just in mental health, but healthcare broadly, because of the policies that are out, the red flag laws, the background check laws, all that stuff. And we want to know if we're right. If it comes back that 30-40% of gun owners would rather not go into Jake's office because they think that Jake is going to tattle on them for some reason, they're going to lose their God-given rights, then we want to know that to be able to push back on some of the narratives popular in legislative circles and policy circles that say that's not true or whatever. We want to be able to create this, and then hopefully from there we get adequate funding to run a proper survey, because a self-selecting survey on the internet is not necessarily scientifically valid, but it is a starting point. And right now we just have no information on that other than what we hear in the hallways and through our social media accounts. So,
well, and also, the larger the participation, even though it's not scientifically valid, the larger the participation, the what would be the word there?
The more legitimate it looks.
I guess the more legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks the sample size being larger. You're going to be able to extract more data, or I guess finer points of data maybe from that.
Yeah, we actually the 2023 survey revealed some surprising stuff, but still, like the pie chart of distribution between those who don't have a problem with red flag and those who do was a little more split than we thought. So people who would avoid care because of policies like that was about in the 23 to 25% realm. We thought, well, that's a little lower than we expected, but that's still a quarter of gun owners. If you're talking 100 and some million gun owners in America, that's 25 million people who just won't get care, and that's not acceptable.
That's not good. Yeah, definitely. Now, is any of that data being used? I know, you go to these different conferences and other things. Obviously Mike does that as well. Not necessarily in speeches or classes or panels, but maybe just in private conversations, if nothing else. Is some of that data being used at this point?
It is, and we get to say we conducted our own survey, right? Anybody can run a survey, and we have evidence that suggests the opposite of what you people think. And Mike's had great success talking to some of these researchers who simply had blind spots and didn't realize it. So he'll say, did you ever consider that these extreme risk protection orders are actually killing people? And it's like, what are you talking about? Well, let me educate you. I'll tell you what we're finding. And they go, wow, we did not actually consider the unintended negative consequence of this policy decision that we thought was a great stopgap between arrest and hospitalization. We'll just take your property. It's like, no, that's actually keeping people away from care. We don't want that. And so, yes, we are making inroads, and it's good civil conversations with like-minded people. When I say like-minded, I mean, we all want unnecessary deaths to stop, and we want definitely unnecessary gun deaths to stop because we're in the gun community. That's where we center. Mike's famous for saying if I sold rope for a living, I'd probably be targeting rope deaths, but we're not. We're targeting gun deaths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got, I don't know, 3-4 minutes in this segment. Easy. So,
Yeah.
May I ask Ron a question?
Go for it. Absolutely. This is what this is about.
This is one of those people, ignorant questions that we get asked this all the time about our products. Like, well, why hasn't anybody done this before? This seems like a no-brainer with your slings and your training tactics. Why did it take until now, you in the 2010s, 2020s, to come up with this seemingly no-brainer system?
When it's really cool because I'm an inventor. And I have a patent, so I'm legitimately an inventor.
I like that. Yes.
And that's
cool.
I'm really proud of that. But we sat down with our patent writer, and the whole process, like the things I've learned in this journey are amazing. And he came back. I think it took about 6 months, and he came back and he goes, "Okay, guys, open up the books," and he says, "You guys are onto something, or you're onto nothing." And I'm like, fantastic. What does that mean?
Either way, I don't know what that means. But
learn. Yay, I think. Right. And he's just like, look, he goes, I have Doug. And he goes, there is nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, either nobody has ever thought of this or somebody has thought of it and they've never gone forward with it. He goes, but there is nothing out there for the side of the rail for purposes of hand placement. So our patent owns the side of the gun for hand placement. And, that's just here's the thing, though. I was running you call them prototypes. They were just called my grip. It had no name. I was running them and making them for guys that I worked with. I was running for 2 years before we even started it. And it was just one of my partners. We were doing some stuff one day, and he goes, what is that? It's like this thing I made so I can shoot pain free. He sat there and he's looking. He's just like, yo, man, we should sell those. And I was like, whatever. Yeah. And here we are. So, it's just, again, it goes back to that, me and 2 other guys invented a product years ago, and it became a piece of gear that I was actually issued 3 years later. And it was upsetting, but 25-year-old Force Reconnaissance Marine did not know anything about patents, intellectual property, and stuff like that. I had a need. We made this hook for our breacher shotgun so we could fast rope. Everything stayed in there. We worked with some team guys when I was in Okinawa. These guys, that's awesome. Could you make us one? We made them some. They took some pictures. Fast forward, we do some work with these guys, the East Coast guys, and James River, and these guys are fast roping down. Got this little thing, and I'm like,
got your hook.
I go look at it, and I'm like, hey, where'd you get that? And they're like, oh man, our boys from the West Coast sent some pictures to the guy at London Bridge, and it's like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what I look like. The guy's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no,
that's mine.
And I was like, that's the one they took pictures of, and he just was like, I'm sorry, bro. And I was like, so I didn't know about these things. And it's just like, but again, not really my mindset of like what I wanted to do. So I don't know why. And I've had people say like, man, this is like the folding chair. Why did I not think of it?
Yeah.
You know, but it's here now. And, you know, we've got the secondary effects on it, like guys with pre-existing injuries, but kids, our first 2 sponsored shooters were young ladies, 10 years old and 12-year-old ladies. Shout out to Alpha Addy and Pineapple Shooter. Yeah. And, you know, so we found like smaller frame men and women, law enforcement, body armor, everything like this, haven't been able to qualify with the carbine. Put the grip on, you can pull it back far enough. Now you're giving them the ability to do something. Then you receive testimonials from people like, hey, man, I had a lung transplant. Haven't been able to shoulder a rifle. I'm a retired cop, competitive shooter. I can't do it. Your grip is giving me that back.
That's cool.
Like you can't write that in a business plan, right? But yeah, so that's I mean, it's here now.
It's a good question
with no good answers. I mean, why is it? There's no answer to that.
Necessity the mother of invention, right?
It reminds me of a conversation that was had just the other night. Somebody had said, you know, wonder who the first person was to look at a lobster or crab or
so we can eat that.
Man, it's delicious.
Man, can you imagine that with lemon and butter? Like, can you imagine how good that is?
But one day somebody did it, right?
Yeah.
And the rest is history. And so that's what you did, right? You just made history, basically.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other things in there. Like, and again, I know I'm not the only one that thinks of things. Like years ago, before I had retired, I had sat down with a friend in the industry, and I had drew out a backpack that you could pull over, and we sat there, we talked about it, like, dude, that's a great idea. Right. And then now that's a thing.
Absolutely.
And we talk and they're like, yeah, we missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I could certainly validate the product idea getting stolen by somebody else, stolen, whatever. You know, it's like we do that here. We're constantly inventing things. Then we see other organizations like repurposing them and rebranding them as their own. The instructor slides, for example. You want to teach mental health for an hour, and I'm a gun guy. I don't know about that. So we created an hour's worth of mental health stuff. No,
and you
like,
threw it out of the book.
People
go ahead and use our stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. We're saving lives. That's fine. Attribution would be good.
Yeah,
whatever. You're gonna say.
No, I just didn't like. I honestly, this is the first time I've heard about your organization. And
they also do amazing work. They're trying to get I was on with Mike on a panel 3 years ago with the VA, and I talked to you about doing some stuff with that. But we're gonna wrap this up. Sorry. But they're working with the VA also, and the VA is trying to learn why vets don't trust them with mental health and all that. So they're reaching beyond just gunners. It's vets and it's everyone. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've kind of cracked the code when dealing with the VA.
Yeah.
My healthy vet, I send one polite email. I don't get the response I want. I send a stern email. I don't get the response I want. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to see the chiropractor. I don't want to see the acupuncturist anymore. Could you please send me the top 3 opioids to my house?
Yeah.
And because I know at least I'll get those by tomorrow.
Right.
And then literally the next day, my referral's in and I get my appointments. Right.
Yeah.
Not I don't want pills. I'm not that. I'm just
I know what you're saying.
This is where you have to get. Like, and I teach this to other veterans and stuff. But for you, I think the big thing, one of the things I tell, like, I run a summer camp also for kids, but the biggest thing when it comes to firearms and mental health is education. And everybody thinks that they know something and you don't know something. And when you take something away from somebody, like you said, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. The answer is finding a path in there to communicate with that person on their level, you know? So I always tell people you need to be smarter than them. And who is them? Them is anybody who is just trying to take away your birthrights. And the biggest thing is not even arm yourself with a gun and arm yourself with a combative, a physical skill. You need to arm yourself with education,
knowledge,
education
over restriction.
But the other thing on that is you have to have courage. If you're in a position and you're good and you're in the industry and you see your friend who's struggling, lean in, step through that door and have the courage to lean in, lead them to faith and lead them to a path of victory through care and through love. And I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
And now Jake's got to follow that.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
But
Go for it.
we got to move on because we do have 2 more segments to this. And so I'm going to ask Jake, go ahead. Where can folks find you, find out more? Because I mean, these are short segments. We realize that.
Yeah.
And so we're going to encourage you.
We're trying to
follow
plant
up
the
on
seed
your
for
own.
you to do your own research
follow
on
up
these
on
people
your
and
own.
products.
These guys have social media posts. They have websites. They have places to learn about all the cool things they're doing. Jake, we'll let you go first.
WTTA.org, walkthetalkamerica.org. We are a 501c3. We do look for donations. We have an auction coming up. If you are able to donate for the auction, we will absolutely take that. But paw around the website, poke through some stuff. My emotional functioning videos are posted in there and a link in the instructor area. And educate yourself, like Ron's saying, like learn about your brain and what it's doing in response to environment. What are these feelings that we have? And they all have a purpose, right? If you know well how to navigate them, you're not acting out of reflex or impulse. You can act out of logic and reason and to take better control of what you choose to do. So WTTA.org, please share the survey. It pops right up, says our 2025 survey is now open. Please take that, share it around with your friends so we can gather as much data as we can. I love what Ron's doing with the next generation too, because now we're going to train people to hold a rifle with more accuracy, instead of like the cup, that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And check out the Guns and Mental Health podcast. One of my favorite podcasts. It's phenomenal. Jake, Kevin, Mike, all those guys that are on there, phenomenal podcast. Ron, you've got a long list of stuff that you're doing. Is there a centralized HQ that people can kind of find out all of the information that you're doing?
No.
Why would you want to do that?
Bro, sometimes I look like I got it all, like I know what I'm doing, but I'm kind of like, I'm starting to feel like a bag of marbles rolling down the hill. Right?
Same.
But honestly, the best way, go to Instagram, Riker USA, RYKER USA, DM me in there, and then I'll reach out to you that way. Or also Instructor1, spell out ONE, and DM me at those 2 places, and then we won't get into why you're Instructor 1. And I will I'll give you guys info, RikerUSA.com. But we can talk about the camp, we can talk about classes. If you want to schedule classes with us in Mitchell Defense, just hit us up. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. We got coming up next, we have Bersa and Rob Pincus with 2AOs. We'll be back in about 5-ish minutes, maybe a little bit.
So, yeah.
Roughly.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Thank you to Ron. Thank you to Jake. Go check out Riker USA. Go check out Walk the Talk America, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound: to bridge the gap between mental health and firearms, because they understand that the real change starts with understanding, empathy, and open conversation. Tune into their groundbreaking podcast, Guns and Mental Health, where experts, advocates, and survivors share their stories and insights. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement towards a more compassionate and informed society. Join them as they organize events, workshops, and outreach programs to build a community that supports mental health without judgment. Join me in supporting Walk the Talk America and visit their website, walkthetalkamerica.org, to be part of the change. Well, guys, we do invite you to go check out both ours and Clover's YouTube channels. Ours is Ghost Tactical, where you can find all of our content over there, including our videos and our podcasts. And you can go check out Clover at CloverTac. Obviously, you can check out all of his content and podcasts as well. We also invite you to check out our websites. Ours is ghosttactical.us, where you'll be able to find everything that we're doing, including our swag store. And Clover's is clovertac.com. Once again, find all of his projects, all of his swag, and all of that. More importantly, guys, we do thank everyone for always supporting both myself and CloverTac, whether it's just by watching our stuff or those that do spend their hard-earned money through YouTube channel memberships. We do truly appreciate you guys. You guys make this all worthwhile. We are currently getting ready for our next guest, so stand by for the standby.
I'll just come in and do it. I got nothing to do Friday.
Yeah, he doesn't. And we're back.
And we're back.
I got nothing to do Friday.
No,
Leave it up to Rob to talk so damn much that he runs past the intermission. Oh,
we are
I didn't even get
joined.
the teaser post going.
Well, you know what? You can do that while I kind of bring you in. This is a guy. How do you explain Rob Pincus to someone that doesn't know? First off, camera whore.
a man that never found a camera he didn't
I
love.
wasn't
right.
even paying attention.
He's never found a camera he didn't love.
I
A
never
woman
found
he
a
wouldn't
camera that didn't love
marry.
me.
What else would it be?
I have not married a few women. That's
A
not-
few.
Yeah, there's a few women I have not married. Sir.
You've got about 19 different
A
things you're
whiskey
involved
he
in.
wouldn't drink.
Yeah, that's pretty true. That's even old bro. Old bro. You can drink bad whiskey with good friends. That's what I've found.
Well, sometimes that's what you got to do, right? Yeah. You're here, obviously, the PD and the Personal Defense Network, ICE training, Walk the Talk America board member, here with the executive director now of 2AO. You were heavily involved with the 2A march a couple of years ago in Washington.
I did.
Yeah, I was trying to be
2A
like,
rally,
you know,
2A rally.
2A rally.
Yep.
I mean, that was you. Golly, I'm missing. Go ahead.
Gunmakers match.
There you go. There's so many
All right.
there's so many things.
Did we say Avidity Arms?
Avidity
I
Arms.
brought a gun.
Avidity Arms.
I
You
got,
brought
so
a
I
gun.
designed a gun.
Well, you brought it
finally.
finally. But now you got
2 years ago.
But now
this
you
week.
got AR. I mean, you're
What do you
doing
want to talk
so
about?
many
You
things.
guys talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And some people only do one thing. Some will do four things.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's start with 2AO. How
All
about
right,
that?
perfect.
2AO.
Good. Yep, good. I just had a couple of our board members are also here. Had a great conversation with them. I'm going to see another board member at another gathering here in a little while. 2AO is an interesting thing. So it's been a long time, like 6 years. Let's say 6 years ago, something like 6 years ago. Brian, the founder and president of 2AO, came to me, and I was doing a lot of different things, as I always do. I was very active in a few things that were relatively high profile. I was doing a lot of stuff where I was doing a lot of media stuff around every time there was some tragedy, I'd get some news media I'd be talking about. We were very involved with trying to make the NRA better, even before the big blow up in 2019. A lot of the politics and the practical application of politics, like right now, I don't care if you introduce a bill to abolish the ATF. That's not really helping. It's distracting. It's annoying. I get it. It's fundraising. It's clickbait. It's voting. You're not really helping. We don't want the FBI in charge of all this stuff.
Right.
And ATF has a bunch of other stuff it does. What we want is a reformed ATF. We want reformed gun laws. We want removed gun laws. We want Hearing Protection Act, for example. We want maybe I'll go as far as get rid of the NFA. It's still a big wish, but at least it's practical and useful as opposed to abolish the ATF. So all that to say, my approach is not always the same approach you hear from the podium at the leaders of some of the other gun rights organizations. So Brian and his board came to me and said, we like what you do. We like the way you do it. And we really haven't done much with 2AO. 2AO was sort of sitting there as this shell because its main focus was post Sandy Hook.
Right.
And there was a lot of things going on at the time to get businesses that were friendly to gun owners involved and make them part of the Second Amendment organization. Sort of like, you had like guns not welcome in this business kind of things went up. They wanted to do guns are welcome here and gun owners are welcome here. And that was a campaign that was run in Northern Virginia, around the Washington, D.C. area. This was before there was any concealed carry opportunities in D.C. But in Northern Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, this took off. And they had thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses that were excited about it. But then it kind of died and it just kind of stalled out. And they didn't get to 1 million businesses. And then the entity was there, but there wasn't much going on with it. So they said, is there something you can do with this? Would this be helpful for you? Is there a way we could take some of your messaging, especially around rights and responsibilities and the relationship that those two things have without being anti-gun or pro-gun control or anything else? And I said, absolutely, that's amazing, because it's what I've never wanted to do is go on to this media outlet to be talking about gun rights and trying to represent, some portion of the complex thing that is 100+ million gun owners in our country. But my tagline is, personal defense network, right?
Mhm.
If I'm talking about school shooters and school shooter response, personal defense network, I'm talking about gun rights, gun owner isn't very compelling. And personal defense network is a business that tries to stay out of the politics. ICE training company doesn't really mean anything. People ask me if I work with the border,
Yeah.
So
Right.
so being able to say Second Amendment organization was great. And they offered me the executive vice president position, which is sort of like the COO, the guy who gets to do the stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't do a lot of fundraising. We have a couple of, let's say, benefactors that send us some money. I put a lot of money into it myself. Brian puts money into it. There's other people really they're close to it to put money into 2AO, but we have a donation click through on the website, right? But we don't do a lot of like, help us fund this next lawsuit.
Right.
We might donate some stuff to FPC or Second Amendment Foundation. Like those entities exist. We're not trying to duplicate that. We're just trying to deliver a rights and responsibilities message. We're all about, we have the position statements, 2AO position statements at gunrights.info, where people can go to see all the board signs off on these. I penned a lot of them. They put in some input. We tweak this line, tweak that line, but there's like over 60 positions we have on private gun making, suppressor legality, the NFA, constitutional carries. We have all these topics, right? And the question is, where does Second Amendment organization and then obviously some portion of American gun owners stand on these positions? So it's not just pounding on the podium and saying, Second Amendment, what part don't you understand? It's digging into the details of the positions so that we can have a more educated and articulate gun rights advocate. And we really believe in grassroots advocacy and educated, articulate grassroots advocacy, not just you can take my gun from a cold dead hands
Right.
advocacy, which doesn't.
You're more than a slogan.
Yeah. So we
for
try
sure.
to dig in a little deeper, and so it was great. I was honored by the opportunity, and I think it's done a lot of good for you know, sometimes it's like, well, who is this guy? Well, he's a trainer. Well, he's a gun designer. Well, he's a marketing guy. He's an educating guy. But if I'm
Yes,
the
it's
executive,
yes.
but the executive vice president of Second Amendment organization to somebody outside of the gun community, they're like, oh, he has a job. You know, they
Right.
can see can see 2AO.org, and they can see what I do at Walk the Talk and what I do at other places. And I hope that those things are also important to them.
Right.
But there is just this weird credibility issue of, oh, he's part of this organization.
Right.
And then once they're there, we hope they see the information. You know, so it's about building that army. And Kevin Dixie has joined the board since
Nice.
to join in with us, and that's been great to have him and his input, his thoughts as well. And we really just we're kind of low key Second Amendment rights organization that can do things like back the gun makers match and talk about private gun making. We can back the 2A rally and bring other people in without stepping on anybody else's toes. Let those other organizations do what they do really well.
Absolutely.
And fashionably late, just like the diva he is.
It's like there's something going on this week. I don't even know what's going on.
How's
I was
It's not
trying to
just
sell a gun.
It's not just a podcast.
just one?
Yeah,
Just one. Yeah, it's just one.
One at a time.
One to about
There's
20
no
million
order that's
people.
too small.
One at a time.
If you don't have a Bersa 380, you're wrong.
Yeah.
My
Well,
first-
we were talking
first
about
Kerrigan.
this.
Yeah.
We were talking about this yesterday, and this is kind of crazy. First of all, this is Raphael with Bersa.
USA.
Versus USA. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
both.
Bersa,
Both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're like the King Poobah versus USA.
The King
I-
Poobah.
The poobah.
I think that's
I need like a big.
is that on the
water
lower
buffalo
third?
hat,
That's
and,
gonna
lower
be
third.
on your badge next year. Raphael King
Poobah.
Poobah.
I need the big
Unless has
buffalo hat
Poobah
like
been
in the
canceled?
Flintstones.
Has Poobah been
It will
canceled?
be.
I don't remember.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. It just means
I don't know.
leader
It's
guy.
just not used.
If
as much.
it's,
Not-
if it's,
yeah.
if
We're
it's
bringing it
not,
back.
it probably will be now.
Bringing it
We're
back.
bringing sexy back. All right.
That's right.
You know, we were
Sexy Poobah.
we were the sexy poobah. We were talking yesterday about the gun industry a little bit, and there's obviously a lot of great manufacturers, great gun companies that are here, but there's a lot. There's a lot. I didn't say all. I said some. There are some great.
Always a few kind of bad eggs.
Yeah, pimping that
No,
30
there's
super, that 30
there's literally only a true handful of companies that when you hear a company name, you obviously offer a lot more guns, but when you hear Bersa, it's thunder.
Yep.
And there are very few companies in this industry that are, when you think of something, you automatically know about that company because of a gun. And now obviously you're expanding to ARs
Yeah,
in
we're
2011.
trying to change that. you
Yeah,
know,
but,
and,
but at least you're
you
not.
know,
I just learned about your suppressors. Those are some of the most technologically
Right?
advanced suppressors
yes.
at this show
Yeah,
in
they're-
the community.
It's they're
And-
different from anything that
Yeah,
anybody else.
I'm impressed. So I'm already super impressed by that. But
Yep.
it's funny you say the Thunder.
Yeah.
I think of the Thunder as like the newish thing,
Right,
Because
right.
I go back like the 383 model,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So but what I do
Yeah.
think is 380. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
think 380,
absolutely.
and that does a great disservice to like the BP and some of the
Yeah.
other guns you have that
Yeah,
Bersa has come a long way,
that
baby.
380, that 380 is one of the OG
Yes.
classic carry guns.
Yep.
was my first
It
carry
was
gun.
an OG
First
carry
gun I bought.
It
And
was-
There's
it was
a couple
really-
guns only.
Yeah, it was really one of the first everyman's affordable carry compact, micro compact, whatever you want to call it.
I wanted James Bond gun.
Yeah,
I couldn't
and
afford
you
James
couldn't
Bond
afford-
gun, but I
afford it.
could afford a 383 DA. It's satin brushed
Yep.
with wood panel.
Yeah. So you should have kept it.
Shut up. I've sold a few guns and I needed the money and I was
Yeah.
hitting.
Yeah, but it's one of those where we are now with concealed carry movement in the last decade. There are a few guns out there in the 380, the Bersa, whatever the
Yeah.
Bersa 380s
Mhm.
lineage is directly responsible for a lot of what is going on
Yeah,
now.
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. I was gonna say, the BP.
You know,
So go back to the Thunder, the 383 line, and then you go to the BP.
Yep.
And then you look at like I was just in the Smith. Look at what the Bodyguard is. But you guys had that.
the
So-
BP9, when it came out 10 years ago or whatever,
Yeah.
was the first ultra slim
Yep.
single stack
Yeah.
9mm pistol. It was, I remember when Smith & Wesson was in our booth
Yep.
taking pictures of it and then,
We're not
You know,
saying anything
no,
happened, but
no.
something happened.
but they were
Well,
obviously wanting to develop or were in development or something
Right,
like that.
right.
What are we doing here?
But the shield wasn't out yet. The Glock 43
The
wasn't out
jersey came
yet.
out of you for a
Sorry,
second.
yeah.
My God.
Raphael does it. Yeah.
But it was after that the shield came
The shield,
out, the
yeah.
43 came out, the whatever.
Yeah.
And
And a lot of people
The
consider the Shield as this one of these guns, but they don't realize that wasn't really necessarily the first design of that kind
and
of a
that's
gun.
not even as slim. Like the new Bodyguard is really slim.
Yeah, it
as a 380, but the Shield as a 9 isn't nearly
No.
as slim as the
No.
380.
No. And now you got rifles, you got
Yep.
suppressors. I mean, you guys are 2011, so
1911.
the
wait,
2011. Yeah.
You'll see. We'll look at it after this.
What he said was
Is that
So-
a new? Is that a new?
Yeah, it's coming
You
out.
guys
They're like-
developed it? It's a new design.
No, it's a 2011.
Apparently,
Like
it's causing a lot
double
of
stack
friction.
19 or double stack 1911.
What's 1911? I don't know the.
Wow.
You told me,
Wow.
Rob, last year.
Wow.
I don't believe in a 1911, but I might have to get yours because it's.
That's true. You,
So,
well,
yeah,
that's-
don't-
you've had some.
don't
but I
play
will-
don't play coy with
I
me.
just can't believe I
By the
cannot.
way, these guys have just met. They don't know each other for
Right.
40
I
years.
said you guys know the company Caracol, right? Yeah. So Caracol, like whatever, 12 years ago, they came out with the Caracol F, and it was
Yeah.
the most innovative trigger and pistol striker. But it's the most innovative pistol I think in a long time when the first Caracol F came out. Last year, they released the 1911.
Like, really? We're going back.
And now, and now,
going
and
back
two
in time.
Rafe.
No, man.
Man,
You gotta jump on the bandwagon.
why? Do I?
No, I
Should
do.
I do this?
I do.
All right, should
Yeah,
I?
I don't
So
make
do
it
you-
as a
So
seller.
what, as a consultant, as a senior,
You should not jump, first of all.
as a
for
senior
anything.
consultant, to me, as a guru, as a mentor, as a friend,
A poo ball.
you feel like,
A poo ball.
A poo ball, if
yeah,
you will.
do we need a Rob Pincus double stack 1911?
You,
On the market.
You just came out with an AR-15.
Or
Well, I would.
How about a
You know,
double,
it's
how about a
internally
double
funneled
stack
magma.
PD10?
look, just let's not talk about real things.
I'm just saying.
Let's just talk about fantasy for a second.
Hypotheticals.
What if I don't do it myself,
Yeah.
but I just love yours so much
Yeah. Yeah.
that I tell anybody who would buy a Rob Pincus double stack 1911,
Media.
just buy this.
Five
Just buy this.
people.
Yeah, all
Well,
five.
Maybe 6 now with Rob.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
My
6.
mom. My mom is you haven't considered that. So
Okay, 7.
yeah. You never write mom off. So there's like 7 people. That were like my younger daughter in about 12 years will be old enough to buy a pistol. So if you guys are still around, she'll get one. Yeah. So right there, we have almost 10. If you in the comments, let us know.
let's
If
get
we can
to
get
12.
if
How
we
about
can get
that?
to a baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the
Okay.
price point on said retro gun?
MSRP on our gun is 1,500.
Oh shit! We just got to 22. You know, we got 22 people. Say in the comments. How about 10% discount in the comments if you commit now?
Now, what he's trying to
Based
do,
on the response we got, I think about 22,000.
what he's trying to do is, if he can get to 25, he's expecting a free gun from you. for this.
I sold yesterday more
Oh, I
of
bet.
our new gun than PD10s have ever been sold.
What's this? Wow, that's
Flex.
Shots
got some
fired.
mental health. I gotta go to WTTA.org. We're boutique,
Right.
bitch.
So on this notion,
That should be a patch. We're boutique, bitch.
That should be your logo.
That's a
It might
slogan.
be. It might
That's
become.
a slogan worth fighting for
Yeah.
right there.
Look,
You guys know that the PD10, I was part of that.
he went,
started.
there's a version of the story
But
where
you
it's his
gave
idea.
up because
not
you
the
gave up
PD10.
after 15 years
Not
of
the
it.
PD10 was my idea, but a signature series.
Yes.
Of guns.
So yeah,
was
for
my
people that
idea.
don't know the history, Google it. Because it's we don't want to retell that story again.
Yeah.
But yes, he was there day 1, day 0.
we
Because
brought it up to you.
Eagle had this idea, and then there was another conversation that was happening, which I've written about and talked about in terms of the PD10.
Yeah.
And then those two things merged, and then they split apart. But I feel like they're almost like this 1911 project might something. There's going to be a docking kind of scenario,
Yeah,
right?
that would be cool.
Right? All right, let's
show
think
us
about it.
again exactly how that
So it
works.
was this, and then it was that.
Slow
and
it
then now
down,
we're
slow
doing
it
that,
down.
and then they're just
Yeah, this is the church. This is the steeple. Look at
Where's all the
See all my
people?
So
120-year-old gun designs. I'm bringing back.
this is Rob Pincus's CAD design. That's why it took 10 years for the PD10. That's how he designs things,
Look,
right?
I don't do I take like silly putty and make a shape, and then I take it to an engineer, and then
I kind of want it looking like this. is.
What am I going to do with that? It's like, somewhere between a Steyr M and an MP and an as thin as a BP9. Do all that. But the slide's got to be lower so I get the Rico M. Just, can you do that,
And
please?
then next week we're going to start all over again. So
If you're a consulting engineer that's interested
If you know
in
the
helping
history
me
of
bring the next
BD10,
design to market,
it did start again just about every week.
Yeah.
It was a long time coming, wasn't it?
We could
Yeah, it
honestly
took a minute.
do this for the next 6 hours with these guys. Real
We
quick.
probably could.
We-
right?
Well, there's a place in Indianapolis I heard we need to go to next time, so we'll figure that out. There's a bar that's
the underground, the one that the
oh
basement.
no.
Oh, the slippery
The
noodle.
slippery noodle, baby.
Okay.
The
I'll show
slippery
you the
noodle.
way. I had no idea. They told me it's the oldest blues bar in town.
Guys, you're never going to guess what happened in the bathroom.
They said there was a really
Wait, where
happy
were you?
bar, and so you fucking I like being happy.
The
Yeah.
people, I was reading about it in magazine. It's the oldest blues bar in Indianapolis.
What magazine?
This is the family-friendly podcast. I'm going to tell you what
I was just reading about it in a magazine.
it's one you got to buy.
Comes in
Back
black.
underground.
It's
Yeah.
got a cover on
You
the
got to
front.
ask. You got to ask
of a
the person to
bodega.
get down.
You got to show it an ID when you buy the
Yeah.
magazine.
Can I get that one next? No, that other one there.
Yeah.
And then the counter person's going to let everybody know. Oh, you want?
Yes.
If
Did
people
you
need
got it brought back for
And I
me?
like that you're saying no. I'm just looking for a place to go.
Yeah.
I'm just in it for the articles and the tourist tips.
so for the first
It
time,
was the one in the hotel.
He's trying to close this.
Yeah.
We're not going to
Oh,
let
I'm
him.
sorry.
I don't care.
Yeah,
It's his show. We can do what the hell we
All
want.
right, but here's the thing. I don't care about your retro.
What we need to do is you guys need to have us on the regular podcast. outside of here.
that
We can do that.
We can do that.
Our banter will drive you and your audience nuts.
We'll have to bring Sedini in and just go for the Holy Trinity.
Oh my god. He's losing his voice, so we
Uh,
might be able to take this thing over on Friday.
That
He is. We're gonna have him step in
Think
and
about it. Think
he's
about
gonna
it.
do
that'd
that.
be fantastic.
They went after.
You've
the
obviously sold enough
Yeah,
guns.
that's what we do.
You don't even need the next 2 days. You've sold so many guns.
Yeah.
The only guy in the industry that still waits for SHOT Show to sell the guns to the retailers. Good man.
It's the
Good,
first time we've shown it.
good discipline. No, but I understand. But most of these people have sold all the guns out by now. These other companies, from what I understand,
They're sold
the
out.
distributors all bought them in NASPW, and you can't get them. But you, on the other hand, sir,
Hey.
that's why the 30 I've got on the
I
shelf.
come in
Sooner or
with-
later,
I
people are gonna be
come
like, Bersa doesn't have any 1911s left. Rob, will you sell us a gun?
I come in with the hot calibrating iron at SHOT Show.
Man, I don't. That's again, he learned that in a magazine, ladies and gentlemen.
The hot
The
rating.
same one he learned the slippery noodle.
Yeah.
I learned that watching Yellowstone.
Oh,
You know, I
my
just found out like 2 weeks ago that isn't an old timey Western show. Like somebody put it on during the holidays. They were
You
flipping-
watched the cow being branded, and you said,
No,
"Oh, that must be old
sir,
school."
I've been on a branding.
Is this John Wayne?
I'm a really good,
Oh
I'm
my
a great
God.
cowhand, by the way. So just don't mess with me on that
That's
one.
what she said.
But what I will tell you is I'm so tuned out on that. I didn't realize it was a contemporary show. I was like, so dumb.
Where can people find you or get a hold of you for any of your ventures? Is there-
Pull out your scroll.
Yeah.
Pull out your scroll
Anywhere.
of all this.
Anywhere.
I need to sell guns.
Literally.
If you know how the internet works, if you're AI robot, look up me.
Just Google Rob
And hopefully you got a
And-
fast connection and a lot of memory.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Do it.
Rob
AI's
Pincus.
got it. Have AI ask, get them to write you a 3-paragraph essay about Rob Pincus. And
Or
Have you done that?
write a
Honestly,
song
I
about
had
Rob
to.
Pickens.
it's creepy.
He asked
That could be
AI to
done.
write a 3-page paragraph.
My older daughter was very, she's like, Dad, you got to check it out. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't need a robot synopsis.
Why?
I know how Google works, right? So she's like, just try it. Just try
Hey.
it. So I did it. So I said, write a 3-paragraph. 'cause I wanted
First
to
off,
test it.
you can find Rob at Bersa.com
Yes.
and BersaUSA.com. Okay, Rob, go ahead.
I'm gonna
Please
do it about,
continue.
you should do it about
Facebook, Instagram.
MySpace. We're bringing MySpace back.
Hotmail.
I am
yeah.
not on MySpace.
Trump's committed to bringing MySpace back.
Hey,
He brought
is-
TikTok,
is AOL
MySpace, and
still-
Vine.
Did
AOL.
MySpace go away?
Is that
That's why he's selling a
I've
1911.
had too much
On
time.
MySpace.
I've spent too much time watching Yellowstone.
Yeah, exactly. You're
It's
sitting
not
around-
the 1911 that's going crazy. It's the 20.
same thing.
No,
Literally.
you've seen it. It's quite different.
Parrot Ordnance had a double stack 1911 in like 1992, 1980.
I love my Parrot Ordnance.
Yes, I've got one of
It's
those
great.
sweet ones. I've got one of the LDAs.
Yeah.
19 round 9mm double action trigger 1911. Still a 1911. The idea that remember the Warthog? Anyway,
I've
Well, I
got,
do remember the
yeah,
one.
right?
I've got the Warthog.
yeah, you of course.
Yes,
so,
to that
yeah,
one.
that makes sense. I could see
Cool.
you. Yeah, that would fit.
It was
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a
Absolutely.
squat gun. It's a stout. It's a stout gun, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the Warthog, it's stout. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
it's-
anyway,
it's a little
it got
snappy.
one thing wrong.
It's
Of
a
the whole
little
3
snappy.
paragraphs, like
What?
let's say it was, I don't know, what's that, 5 sentences? It's like 15 to 20 sentences and it had one factual error. But this is like a year and a half ago. So who knows? Chat, whatever GTP 9 has got now, probably wouldn't even have that error.
What was the error?
That I grew up in a family of hunters, which my stepfather was an avid hunter, but no one else, like none of my
Like your
birth blood
mom.
family.
Your mom didn't.
Mom wasn't a big
Yeah,
Well,
no.
apparently AI does not listen to my podcast for information on
'Cause
things.
they would,
that-
you would have got that. And I don't know. I mean, I see how they jumped to that conclusion, but there's nothing. There's literally,
now that you've cleared that up, when you write another one with AI, it should not include that.
I feel like I should write a book by now with
I'm,
AI.
I'm surprised you haven't written a book by now.
One book.
Well, no, I mean another book. Like it seems like AI would get me off the. I've been on a hiatus of the writing, and I could maybe
If you
use
can,
AI.
if you can put it in paperback magazine form, I know a guy that might buy one.
Depends on the pictures.
Yeah, but
Audio
the-
book.
The
Audio
pop-up,
book.
the centerfolds might need it. Oh
get
man!
Audio.
I don't really
Listen,
read magazines.
I wanted to do a dive
If you
bar
put a
coffee table
Sedini
book.
from his Bugle Boy days as a centerfold, you
Oh
might
my
sell
God.
like
Oh
7
my
of them.
God.
You can
He
sell
was-
7 of them.
But so here's the thing about a lot of people don't realize this. He was way ahead of the curve on gender fluidity. We know. So he has this whole life. People don't realize before his uncle, said, "Come on, come work for the company, kid. Get a real job. Put your shirt on. Whatever."
Shirt
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
That was
Clover
actually real life
Podcast.
expression of an actual
Oh,
conversation.
Not really
Yes,
reflects our
yes,
personal
right.
views.
The views expressed on the podcast.
Sedini, he'll tell you.
There was a lot of acid wash involved.
Was it-
Oh,
Yeah.
Is any of this wrong?
No. That's
He-
why.
I don't
That's
know
why
if he
I'm not laughing as hard as they are because I know it's true.
I don't know if he invented bedazzling, but he was definitely an early adopter.
He was one of the first
Yeah.
guys I knew that wore bedazzled things.
for sure.
He's been a
But
big
again,
fan of hair
let's not
gel
box
for a
him
while
in. Let's
too.
not label him.
No.
He was one of the first people I knew.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
one of the first people.
No,
He
you-
was also
they
he
were.
was also almost single-handedly in the 90s able to keep up the hair gel.
Studio, remember
the
Studio?
Studio, yeah.
Studio. He
Yeah,
was.
he
He
kept
was.
that alive.
He did. He
Yeah,
did.
he
He
did.
had early sponsorship.
The sad thing is he looks just as good now as he did back then. I'm not sure what he's
No,
doing.
man. When he had that like Wham third guy in Wham look going,
no,
he was sweet.
He
was-
did. He
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, but free drinks are free drinks. Okay. Wherever bathroom you're in.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
SHOT Show 2025, where you find out the important things about the firearms industry. It's only day 2.
I don't even know what the hell to
And-
do at this
and
point.
also the unimportant
You
things.
just hit the
to,
button.
We're just
there.
gonna
Is this
like
even going out?
we're
know what?
we're just gonna
The-
go ahead and click the
third-
commercial. We'll be
The
back
third segment's coming.
sometime.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna read the comments
Yeah.
from you people now.
My wife says hello. The first time she's ever watched any of my shit. She's here to watch you, by the way. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound: to bridge the gap between mental health and firearms, because they understand that the real change starts with understanding, empathy, and open conversation. Tune into their groundbreaking podcast, Guns and Mental Health, where experts, advocates, and survivors share their stories and insights. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement towards a more compassionate and informed society. Join them as they organize events, workshops, and outreach programs to build a community that supports mental health without judgment. Join me in supporting Walk the Talk America and visit their website, walkthetalkamerica.org, to be part of the change. Well, guys, we do invite you to go check out both ours and Clover's YouTube channels. Ours is Ghost Tactical, where you can find all of our content over there, including our videos and our podcasts. And you can go check out Clover at CloverTac. Obviously, you can check out all of his content and podcasts as well. We also invite you to check out our websites. Ours is ghosttactical.us, where you'll be able to find everything that we're doing, including our swag store. And Clover's is clovertac.com. Once again, find all of his projects, all of his swag, and all of that. More importantly, guys, we do thank everyone for always supporting both myself and CloverTac, whether it's just by watching our stuff or those that do spend their hard-earned money through YouTube channel memberships. We do truly appreciate you guys. You guys make this all worthwhile. We are currently getting ready for our next guest, so stand by for the standby.
All right, we are back. Day 2, SHOT Show 2025. Ghost Clover here at the Bersa booth. Real quick, shout out to our partners, Bersa and Walk the Talk America. Third segment of Day 2. We are proud to bring in some great people. Yeah?
Yeah, just that last segment,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah.
If you caught that, first of
I'm
all,
sorry.
Rob Pika's officially banned from the Ghost and Clover podcast, I think. And it's the first time we've ever had to ban a sponsor.
Yeah,
I think.
we had to ban a sponsor, and so that's interesting.
The children are now out of the room. They're fighting it. We can still hear them arguing out there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. We've got Devin from Kiss the King, and we've got Chris from HRT Tactical. Let's start with Devin real quick. Devin, real quick, assume that no one knows what's going on. First of all, an amazing story. What you are doing and what you have done in a short time is incredible. So I want you to fill in people what you're doing, your background, and why you decided to take on this fight yourself, basically.
Got you. That's a lot.
It's a lot. I'd like to ask like 17 questions.
No, you're good. You're good. Background. I'm a history nerd from Northern Virginia.
Right.
My family had the largest pre and post farm in Northern Virginia during the Civil War. So it got turned into a hospital in the Battle of Bull Run. So we have like a historical plaque and everything. Like when people ask about like family trees, I literally know mine from like its origin.
That's amazing.
And that essentially is what birthed my love and desire for freedom.
That's incredible. There's not many people that can do that can trace the lineage to a specific spot, not just where, but like a specific spot. This is where my family came from.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I can say I lived on that property for 12 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Kids the King.
Oh, Kids the King,
man. What? Like, how did this happen? And it is taken off.
You want like the origin story or the summary?
Let's do a summary. I don't want. We could do a whole podcast on probably the origin, right?
I mean, honestly, it was pretty simple.
Okay.
I stand on the shoulders of giants. So I was working with Maj Toure with Black Guns Matter a lot, and he was already in conjunction working with Bersa and Mike Sedini when he was still with Bersa. They had already had plans to do stuff, but in the middle of their plans, Maj decided to run for city council in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of Maj running for Philadelphia or for city council in Philadelphia, he couldn't, designate as much time and attention to the to the plan that him and Mike had put together, I had already started to build Kids to Kings with a few of my other friends back home. So when I ran into Mike at NRAM 2019,
Indy, yeah.
We I interviewed Mike, and then right after that, we spoke about Kids to Kings. And 2 weeks later, me and him were on the phone drafting up the plans for it.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, the boys have a 40-acre range thanks to Kevin Dixie and USCCA. They train once a month, and they are not just shooting like wood grain bolt action 22s. They're shooting pistols that they want to shoot. So our biggest thing is using the gun as a martial art and making sure that, yes, you understand how to operate the gun, what the gun does, all of that, but also the important aspects of why we even carry guns and why we protect ourselves.
Well, and it's a lot more than just the gun. It's a way of life. It's a whole mindset that you guys are trying to instill in these kids and say, hey, don't be a victim. You know, create, and it's fantastic what they're doing.
It's just curating and guiding the already inevitable testosterone and aggression that every little boy has. Like, we grew up with water guns, Nerf guns, cap guns. Like, you're not going to tell a boy he doesn't want to play with a gun. So instead of continuing to try to legislate it or hide them from them, which is only going to build the curiosity, why don't you lead with education? And they still get the same amount of excitement. They just actually understand what these tools are for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, we had Mike on yesterday, and you know, one of the things he talked about is when he goes to these conferences, stuff like that, he has these conversations, and somebody says, "What?" But you know, because it's mental health oriented, right? And then somebody says, "Well, but what about you know, gun violence, like with children or with kids?" And he's like, "Oh, we got Kids to Kings."
Yeah, we are literally
we're already there ahead of you. Thanks for asking.
And so these alliances, right? These alliances that are built in, gives him the power that when they try to shift that narrative, right, he can come back real quick. We got an answer for that.
We destroy any talking point you could ever think of. There is no. All of my counselors are reformed degenerates. All of them.
That's amazing.
My first counselor, he's still on the gang registry in Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, former blood, like completely reformed. Now he's baptized and everything. But yeah,
that's amazing.
So even when we have the kids, there's nothing that they want to do that they think is cool that we haven't already experienced ourselves. And even when it gets to the guns, normally at that point is when, like I said earlier, everything is cool. Get to the gun, and then it's just don't do that. Don't shoot. Blah blah blah. Non-violence. This world is filled with violence.
It's violent. Yeah.
We watch violence on TV and pay for it on pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Football, Super Bowl's coming up. Violent game, right?
Right.
So it's like, let's just be honest. Let's meet them where they're at, and let's just make sure that they're doing it correctly.
Yep.
And it's that simple.
I love it. I mean, like I said, what you're doing is phenomenal, and there's going to be multiple people that are out there that either want to get their children or their grandkids or friends of a friend's kids involved in this. And we're going to talk a little bit here in a minute about how they can get a hold of you. But what you're doing is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to bring Chris? I don't know if you can talk. So this is brought to you by Phoebe, Phoebe's sexy voice.
Oh my God, I don't know. My sexy voice. I sound like Roth. I fucking sound like Roth.
Well, that's not good.
Good. I'm more high-pitched prepubescent Roth. But I sound like Roth.
But you sound fantastic.
Man, it's going to be even worse the next 2 days. And it's that way every shot. It was every last year.
Yeah,
right?
well, you spent last night probably didn't help being outside.
And tonight we'll be out there again.
Exactly.
But sitting in the corner like he is Poindexter. Because he is Poindexter.
That's a nice fool, by the way.
He's Christopher Poindexter. It's Chris from HRT. Hey, bud.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you guys for having me on. It's always
Absolutely.
a pleasure. But I want to say thank you for always giving me the chance to follow such inspirational stories every time I've been
last
on.
year with his kids program. He's like, I don't even know what to say. Like,
But I just want to
go back to
say,
his website.
I just want to say, hey guys, I had a chance to talk.
My name's
with Jeff before, and just listening to him tell me the story before he had a chance to say it on here.
Yeah.
Highly inspirational, highly responsible. Extreme story that's just something you wish we saw more of, and something we were talking about before we came on. And he took that role because he looked around and he said no one else was doing it, and he literally took the responsibility.
Wait. I can't say that. I cannot say that. Kevin Dixie has had a program called Aiming for the Truth in Missouri for a very long time. So what I essentially did was took Walk the Talk America, Black Guns Matter, and Aiming for the Truth. Merge them all together. And what he always told me was, don't try to recreate the wheels, just put rims on the bitch.
But
So that's
at the
what I did.
same
There you
time,
go.
though,
Yeah.
you took that time, that effort, that energy,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
drained so many people, and you said, hey, what? I'm going to make this in my region. I'm going to make it so it's accessible to more. And that's what I'm talking about when I say you're taking on that role. You're basically saying, I'm going to take this responsibility on. Yes, I did learn that from others.
But you've
But that
transcended
is
that idea already. It's gone.
Standing. And I wish we had more of that, or people who had the energy to bring that to the table. So I say kudos to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Nothing but respect for what you're doing.
Thank you very much, guys.
I
Like I said, I give all of the gratitude to my mentors that poured into me.
Yes.
And essentially, that's what we're doing with the boys. Like, literally, I got poured into by men that were not related to me. They weren't my father, uncle, brother, nothing.
Yeah.
So it was like, if I can get that, what is it going to do to a child's life if I get them at an even younger age than they got me? So we can just create that actual trickle down effect of creating successful human beings.
So here's the thing. It's the thing. We're going to get back to Chris.
Hey, I'm fine just talking about all this because let's be honest, we're all Pro 2A here.
That's it.
We all believe that there's stupid rules on the books that don't belong.
Right.
And I think he said it best when he said, hey, look, there's something masculine in kids that are starting to bloom and they know that there's violence in the world. But hey, how can we sharpen that tool so
Right.
that it's not going to be used in the wrong way and teach the responsibility? So that's why I've got nothing but respect for that.
Well, the part that I look forward to, and we're not going to know till maybe 20 years, right, is the next you could have come from you.
I think we
You know
already
what I'm
got
saying?
him.
Yeah.
He'll be here next year. He's
Yeah.
12.
Oh,
That's amazing. Like,
And y'all followed me for a while.
yeah, absolutely.
He talks like I do.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
scary.
biggest difference.
Well,
Well, that
here-
he talks like I do. as well.
It's unbelievable. Like, you're touching lives of kids and not just teaching them life skills. You're not just teaching them firearm abilities. You're not teaching them about life. You're teaching them how to live a life. And
sure.
you're inspiring the next generation of you, which means this never dies.
Nope.
Which is unbelievable, bro.
Hey, if you have to deal with a world of me's, good luck to anti-gun. Mom's man action.
Yeah,
will be on
don't stand a
Pornhub.
chance. Yeah, absolutely.
If we get what we want. But yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to go back. We're going to force Chris. He doesn't want to. We're going to make Chris talk about his products because they are phenomenal. You guys know from my channel, I've been working with Chris and HRT for a long, long time. Fantastic. Probably, honestly, I mean, I'm not saying this, but you and I have talked a lot on the phone and all that. If you're looking for a plate carrier and you're a gear junkie, it is by far, in my opinion, the best plate carrier out there. You guys are into so many more things now. I mean, I can't even imagine how many SKUs you probably have on the books now. It's unbelievable where you've come in like the last, few years. It's unbelievable.
I think it's funny when you bring up the SKUs because one of the things that we have been doing is going in and trying to reduce some of the components that we are selling because everything needs to be modernized,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
There's new techniques, there are new procedures that can be done to make products built to a high quality, but also make them comfortable.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest components is making something as light as possible.
Yeah.
On the ballistic side, plates have gotten so much lighter. So plate carriers are starting to follow in that suit. And that's probably been something that's been going on, or at least the goal is, hey, if we can make this as light as possible. And I know you know what I'm talking about because you've been out there
Yeah.
doing road marches, patrols, and God knows what else. And nothing sucks worse than carrying 80 pounds of gear, but you still got to
Especially
carry
when you're
40
only
pounds
140 pounds.
more. Yeah, it never gets any better from there.
It's a little different. But you also want lightweight. You have what I think is the lightest war belt, duty belt, whatever. The
It
lightest
is one of the
belt
lightest,
I've ever been around.
and it's one of the things that we're very happy on. But we did come out with a 2.0. I think we're looking at a quarter 3 release.
It's awesome.
It's already starting to go into testing and evaluation. I think maybe we can get you one and get you on that T&E site so you can give us some feedback.
I love your stuff, man.
But beyond that, one thing I would like to say is thanks to people in the community that have given us constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Without that, we could not make products. And that's one of the reasons why we try to strive to make better products along the way.
And I love that because we had a very frank conversation about a year ago with the first belt. And I said, look, I love you, bro. We're friends. But there are some concerns, and you're like, let's hear them.
Yes.
Like it was like, hey, don't ever lose my number. It was like, I think I might know what you're talking about because we've already identified some areas. And I said, he goes, hey, I need to hear this because we're going to do this better and all that, but we have to know that data before you can make the change, right? And the fact that you accept that and welcome it, most companies don't do that. Here's our product, like it or don't, deal with it.
Well, I think that I'm not going to say that's every big company, but larger companies that are kind of gotten set in that mindset where they feel that they may hold the torch. And I'm not going to bash anybody. That's not what I do. My purpose is I'm a thick-skinned guy. I've had worse told to me.
Absolutely. We've heard it all.
Someone saying, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that.
Yeah.
The whole purpose behind it is I can't make something better for the majority unless I can hear the negatives.
Absolutely. And like I said, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't take any insult to it. We know our products may not be for everyone, but we just want to let those who are regular buyers of the stuff that we do produce. We're doing this because you guys gave us the opportunity to, but more importantly, your feedback gave us the ability to make it better.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
Wrap it.
Pretty good. Real quick, Devin, let's bring you in again. For people, like I said, they want to get their children involved. If they want to get involved, if there's companies out there that say, I believe in what you're doing, I want to donate, or I want to be a partner with you, or whatever, where can they find you with an email, social media, website? Where can they get a hold of you?
Kids to Kings on YouTube and Instagram. And then if you go to Walk the Talk America /kids-2-kings, we're right there. Or if you just go to the Walk the Talk America website, we're in the resource section.
Absolutely.
Real quick, I want to shout out a couple of our sponsors.
Yeah.
Ruger,
Absolutely.
shout out to Ruger. Shout out to Davidson's. Who else we got? We got a lot of people. Arms Corps, they sent us 13,000 rounds. We only asked for 3.
That's amazing.
And I think 5,000 of that was 22 Magnum.
Really?
Whoa,
which is more than I know right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And
So they really believe in these guys.
the kids enjoyed that.
Oh, me and Katie have a running joke, right? We asked them, do y'all know how long it took us to get companies to send us free ammo?
Right.
Y'all are 12 years old
And you're just
13,000 rounds right now.
Can I get more?
But yeah, shout out to all of our sponsors. Like I said, Ruger, Davidson's, why am I spacing on them? Arms Corps,
Because there's a
Walk
lot.
the Talk America.
Yeah.
Greenwood Project, USCCA, Gorillas in the Mist.
Grills in the mist.
All of these people have poured into these boys. So it's not just me. Like I said, I stand on the shoulders of giants. I just scream louder than most of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. Keep up the great. I mean, seriously. I mean, we're all saying this, but like, you are an inspiration, and I hope you know that there's a lot of people out of here, whether you know it or not, are supporting you and are pulling for you, and realize we need you. So you're doing a great job.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, Chris. HRT Tactical. Where can they find you? I know you got a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on with you guys. Where can they find all the info on you?
All right. So if people are trying to find us, www.hrttacticalgear.com. That's the website. Same thing for Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. We do have an account on X. We do post there. But as far as one thing I would like to say, I just want to say thanks to both Trey and Chris for having me on.
Absolutely.
And I also want to thank them for allowing me to be here with such wonderful guests, such as myself, and to hear these inspirational stories, to hear these high energy people going out doing high energy things, and making yourself look in the mirror and say, hey, we can do better.
Absolutely. We should just close on that. That was pretty much
he
perfect.
needs to take over my spot.
Here you go, Ralph. We're out. You guys can have it.
Since I can't talk, what are you doing the next 2 days?
Unfortunately, I'm going to be talking a whole lot, but I'm just going to be stuck.
We can have the Chris and Devin show and just walk away and just be good.
Or we can have
No, we
Rob
cannot.
and-
No, we
yeah,
cannot.
No, we can't
We
do
do
that.
not
That
want
can't
that.
happen. No.
Because no one will ever
Jake
get a
right
word.
here, sit Pinkus over there, and just lock the door.
Yeah.
Whoever
And
gets out
record it because that might be the greatest thing ever.
Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. You can't watch it unless you send Devin a super chat. A super chat.
Donate to Kids to Kings, and we can get that popping.
We're going to say $20 minimum, and then more than that, you can see the behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Chris, it's been a great day, too. I know you're not feeling great. I'm trying to talk more for you because I know you're hurting right now.
hey, I'm gonna hit the salt water, tonight,
Yeah.
and cough drops and other things, and I don't know, maybe I can muddle through it.
I think a little bourbon might help, but that's just
There
me.
might be.
some
There
old
might be.
fashions actually did help the other night.
Yeah.
you go.
So
He had,
we'll
he had
see.
his very first smoked old fashioned the other night, and it did
Really?
help. Yeah.
Yeah, it
There
did
you
help. It did help. So, yeah, I don't even know the schedule for tomorrow, but I will say that obviously
EAA,
it's all listed. It's
Xanders.
there.
Yeah, there's
You know.
there's 6 more guests tomorrow.
You've got it's supposed to be an hour long, 20-minute segment. We went 20 minutes long on this one, but you know what? Most of that was Rob. And honestly, yeah, like you said, it's his podcast. We're grateful that he allows us to commandeer the booth and for all the support that they give. Not just Walk Talk America and Kids to Kings and all these other programs, but podcasters and creators and whatnot, like you and myself too.
I
Like,
saw you guys had MGS out there.
Yeah.
Or on the board.
Yeah.
We just
They're
got
gonna be here tomorrow. Yeah.
we just agreed to a sponsorship program for Kids to Kings with them.
Yeah.
So
That's
like I said,
awesome.
we're gonna be doing some real different stuff
That's amazing.
2025, 2026 for sure.
very,
Looking
very
forward
cool.
to it.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. We thanks Rob and Rolf. So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Late day.
Late day, but guys, check us out tomorrow at 4 local, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. I'm still mixed
Dude,
up on
it's
the old
Pacific time. Do your
Pacific
own
time.
math.
It's not a real time zone. I'm convinced. It's all fake over here. There's no time zones over here. It's really weird.
I thought we
Um,
were starting to get away from those.
I thought
Can't
we were.
just
And
vote
then,
them out?
Arizona says we're only going to be on a
agree.
time zone for half the year. So it's like, what? I don't
in
understand.
a 24/7 digitally connected world, what difference does
This
time
is
make?
true.
Really?
There's somebody at 4 a.m. watching this in Turkey right now.
Well, I
So,
mean, we
you
can
know.
always move to Zulu time, and then we'll just.
I got a shirt from the Ukraine.
If
Did you
they're
really?
Yeah, Ian,
wow.
Ian from Rico, he
Yeah.
got back from the Ukraine last week, and I told him I was like, I need
That's
a shirt.
cool. That's awesome.
so,
Yeah.
in closing, for all of our Turkish viewers out there,
Goody
apparently,
goody.
mahaba
No, goody goody.
or goody goody.
Yeah.
All right, goody goody.
We'll see y'all tomorrow,
I
guys.
thought Turkey wasn't a country.